23 years I've spent in the US, and I think some of my love of color and chaos comes from where I grew up. So the scene I've chosen is from Gujarat, India. In fact, I was here for this festival last year. This is probably the last day before the kite flying festival, the night before, and everybody's out buying kites at night to fly in the day. Let's see. You know what? I wanted to work in color first and then draw on it, but that's one problem working in studio. Doesn't dry quickly. So let me throw down some color and then talk a wee bit.
Yes, let's do it.
Right. Lovely. All right, let me throw down color, try not to talk for a wee bit, then I will switch over. Oh. The trouble, if I did this outside, it would be dry quickly, especially in a hot, dry country. But today, So the kite flying festival is super fun. There will be literally at any point you fly kites from the sort of terrace of your building, the top of it. And it's not just about flying them. The string of the kite is covered in powdered glass. And the point is to cut other kites. So how many kites can you cut down? Yeah, it's super competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Throw some of this down, get some blobs down, and then I can talk.
Can I ask how we find the gallery view? So the view of what Sunita's looking at.
It's in the chat.
It's that link, and then I might have swiveled around a wee bit, but it's somewhere in that view. It's looking at the kite shops. But it's one of those, you know, sort of 360 around views. So maybe I swiveled a wee bit, but really you could use any of them. I'm looking at on the left side is something called Kite Corner, and on the right side is a shop called Shanti Lal Amrit Lal. That helps. That helps. All right, so I better give this a wee bit of time to dry now.
It's looking so cool already.
If it dries. And maybe I can say a little bit how I approach a scene like this. So for me, actually, even the scene you had before, the fact that it is so chaotic, right? It sort of throws out that idea that I have to, like, I didn't even think looking at that one that I was capturing buildings. It wasn't about buildings. It was about a mosaic of shape. I think it's the same for me here. It's not about, like a lot of people say, oh gosh, a lot of people to draw. I don't know if I call a scene like this people. This is just about the energy of the crowd. And yeah, so it's about getting sort of the chaos of the scene on the page, and not so much about people and portraits and things like that. I'm almost tempted to add some color, so I'll keep going, even though I should let it dry. Oh, somebody was going to tell me when we're sort of 25 minutes, and you have to tell me, because otherwise I keep going and then I kill it. I better be trying to stop it.
Okay, 30. I will stop the time. I should have started that in the beginning, but I'll tell you in 25 minutes.
That
Yeah.
would be fabulous, which gives me 5 minutes only to scribble if I still want to scribble, and then I have to stop.
Yeah, we started at
I
10.
love how loosely, oh, sorry. I
It
love
is
how loosely
6
you block
minutes.
this in.
I will draw over it, which lets me, if I know I'm going to draw, then I will be loose with my color. I also am not a colorer within the lines, so lets me be a bit loose. Like usually, if I have to capture energy and chaos, I think I like to throw down the chaos on the page first. And then I would say my chances are 50-50. Sometimes I can pull it back to making sense, and sometimes it gets beyond me. But if I don't start with the energy of the scene, I haven't a shot in capturing it. Okay, maybe I will start to draw on this. And I don't have a hard time talking and drawing, so feel free to ask questions.
Yes, you can ask them out loud, or you can put them in the chat, and Jenny and I will bring them to Suhita.
To the importance of values, and it's also interesting to see this and see what you're painting now. And you do paint. I mean, your painting scenes or subject matter are very.
You know what? If there was a question, I missed it.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it as well.
I heard bits of it. One of the things I did with color first is I think I wanted the light in the shops. And to get the light, I must have the dark. So I threw down light and dark on the page, if that makes sense. And yeah, it helps with, I did hear a wee bit about value. It does help the contrast of the values with capturing, I guess, this kind of night scene.
Is that a bent nibbed pen?
Yes, I absolutely love the Sailor bent nib pen.
I just got one delivered today and I'm trying it out for the first time. It's a bit tricky.
It is tricky because it doesn't work like a Western pen does. This is meant to mimic, Eastern calligraphy brush. So it doesn't do the downstroke, thick, upstroke, thin. That's not what it's meant to do. So yeah.
We had a question about what ink you're using.
In my pen.
Especially on the wet paper.
Yeah, right here, deAtramentis document. It blurs, it smudges. I don't seem to care. Also, this pen is so juicy that it'll work. My paper is quite wet, not super wet. It'll die. If I go like here, I have a puddle of color, it won't work. But on damp paper, it'll still, it can do stuff.
That's so nice.
Ask that question because I often try to do the exact same thing, but I'm using this carbon black ink and my Fude pen just stops flowing after a couple of strokes.
I'm not sure it's the pen. First of all, I'm using it on its very thickest. It will often die, and then I'll switch, I guess, to like if it's very wet, then I will switch to, let me find what was the black pencil I was drawing with? Sometimes my surface is super wet. Then I have to go to, I guess, like colored pencil, like water-soluble pencil, which is fabulous on a wet surface, and I can keep drawing.
Okay, I switch to a gel pen usually.
To a gel pen. Gel pens and me don't like each other. It's too exact a tool for me. I can't talk to
A
it.
thick gel pen, like a 1.5 tip gel pen.
Yeah, I think messy tools and me, we get along. Yeah, you can see it's not doing much for me yet, but I think at this point, what I will start trying to do is pull
Oops.
back and make some sense of what is here. It didn't always work like, I don't also always work like this, but sometimes I do like the challenge of starting quite abstract and then seeing if I can pull it back. Like I said, my success rate isn't super high, but it's fun.
When is this festival? When does it take place?
In January, so
Okay.
yeah, quite soon.
Yeah, because I mean, right now is Diwali, yeah?
Yes, Diwali is now, and this in this form is only in the state of Gujarat.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
You'll find it. I mean, you'll find it in Bombay and stuff in smaller wherever you have a community from the state, but
Mhm.
in its super mad form is in Gujarat. I visited last year. It was great fun.
And all of the shops are like this, where they have to choose from outside what they want. They can't go inside.
When shops are little, you stand and you point. Yes, it's
Oh.
not a department store style. You stand, you point. What you don't see, you ask shopkeepers for, and all kinds of goodies can come out of the lit list of shops. So
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Mm.
You ask, like there is not a little store, there's like little stationery stores all over India. Everybody will have a fountain pen. Fountain pens are everywhere.
Oh, I love a little stationery store.
Yes. In fact, I take a drawing group to India every year in January, and one of the places we visit is like a hole in the wall like that. That is a pen fixing store. So everybody brings all their broken pens, and he delivers them fixed the next day.
Oh, wow.
Mm,
Wow.
fun.
I need that.
Are you doing this this trip to India in a couple months as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Do you organize it yourself or?
I have yes, me and a sketcher in India actually, an urban sketcher that I partner with. Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you
I'm
have
actually
any
sort of
tips?
dawdling and trying to get to where I made this super wet, so I can't really go there yet. Sorry, you were saying something. You were asking me a question.
No, that was a great context to what you're doing. I was wondering if you had any tips for drawing night scenes.
Oh gosh, no, I don't often draw 'em. For me, it's this contrast. So like if you're drawing a night scene, it's light against dark, right? So it's the balance of light and dark. So in this one, I had to do the black around, otherwise I wouldn't, or the dark around, otherwise there is no light in the scene without the dark. So I will usually throw down my contrast colors first. Because then at least I got the night and dark. Whether I'll end up with a crowd or anything recognizable is sort of secondary.
Did you ever compete in the kite festival?
Say that again.
Did you ever compete in the kite flying?
No, I can't even get a kite up. Also, you have to be really good at this stuff. Because see, there are hundreds of kites up in the sky, and the hardest thing is getting from the ground to somewhere up, because you have to pass a labyrinth of cutting kites to get up there. So yes, it's for super experts. There's sort of two people in every team, one who holds the role of the wound up roll of thread, and they have to kind of release that at the pace at which you fly your kite up. It's very, very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
My dad apparently was good at this when he grew up.
Do they have girl teams? Because I'm only seeing like young lads buying stuff.
My aunt was my dad's sort of manja holder. Oh, here this is a night scene. So yes, at night you'd have a much bigger population of men outside. But girls that fly kites, more men do. But yeah, a team is two people, and when my dad was a kid, his sort of manja holder, the person who holds the thread, quite important to the team, was my mom's sister.
Oh, okay.
Is it me or are you editing people out?
Am I editing? I'm just picking people. So sort of when I have a photograph, I tend to work like I would in life because I almost always work from life. So I will put who I want where. It's really that I'm trying to get a crowd in here. I mean, there aren't even full people, right? Because this was taken while moving around. So there's a guy on a bike and the bottom of him looks like walking legs. It's not something you look to make sense of. So actually this is odd to draw from because it does sort of what I would do in life, which is things are making sense, but you have to sort of Frankenstein stuff together. There's no way you will be able to capture a whole person unless they're just standing.
Yeah,
I like
that.
I like that description of saying you Frankenstein things.
Yeah.
Just like drawing in real life.
Yes. I was actually really amused because I was drawing at a haunted house this week, and the only non-Frankenstein figures were the Frankenstein and the whatever statuettes, and the rest of them, the real people, were all Frankenstein in moving.
Scary.
So yeah, so about drawing people, I guess I am just making enough layers to convey a crowd. Where are we with time? Because I do
It's been about 20 minutes.
Okay. Oh, I better get out of this like drawing forever and maybe add some more sort of focused color patches. I don't know. See, but I love this pen. That's my problem. I can.
It looks like
we're a really impressive group of people today. It's 200 people in this session.
Wow.
Yeah.
It looks like you're doing a different window on the left than we see in our picture.
You know, so I might have swirled around. Plus, I am not really keeping to what I see either. I want some kites here to finish this side of my page. I'm pulling them in from somewhere, and I will do this in life too. To me, it's about capturing the experience of being there in a place on location, and I will often edit in the parts of the story I want, because like I like it to be true to the experience more than sort of a lock your head in view, because when I'm in a place, I look around and the things that make that place, I will bring them together. I borrow very liberally from around me.
So I like you like this one window and you're putting it in a different place. with a bicycle in front of it.
Like I would put a sign that I wanted up here, or I will borrow. I mean, in real life, like I would never get this frozen, right? So I will draw, I will know I want people in the front, and then I will draw them as they pass through my view. It's a 40-minute experience of being somewhere, not so much, you know. So
exactly. Yeah.
and sort of, I think most of my work, even like this from a photograph, is informed by how I would work in life. So yeah, it's
Oh, I see. We can zoom around. I didn't know we could do that.
yes,
I
yes,
just
you can
got a
zoom
picture
around.
where you can. Oh, yeah. I thought it was just those two windows, and people were in the wrong place.
No. Sorry, I should have said that. It's a 360-degree. It's one of those.
Oh, okay. I know you said something about that, but I thought that meant while
Yeah,
you
I
were
didn't
there.
think to explain it. Sorry. All right, I think enough because I want some focused color. Also big on using mixed media. When I have a wettish page, nothing like, I've moved to Neocolor. Nothing like some crayon to get some good brights on there.
Oh yeah, good idea. It gets so vibrant when it's on the wet paper.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I think I do it just for the tactile experience, you know. I don't know if it's always the best medium, but smushing things into paper is
What kind of crayon is that?
these are Neocolor. It's Karandash Neocolor. This is the Neocolor II, which means it's water soluble. So some people draw and then shove it around with water. I just like to draw on damp surfaces because it makes the color super vibrant. It also lets me like pull back, you know, things on dark color with like this.
Suhita, there's a question in the chat for you. And it's any tips for drawing people in motion?
Any tips for drawing in people in motion, the energy of the people and the gesture of the people more than body parts? I always say this to people when I teach people drawing. It's people say, I don't know how to make people alive. I don't know how to make them look like they're walking and moving. And those are all verbs. And usually we tend to draw nouns. We draw head, legs, hands, feet. Doesn't end up being walking. So if you want to draw walking, you draw the gesture of walking, give it some semblance of a person. And I think we know people well enough to sort of believe as an audience.
That was a really good quote. I'm writing that down. Draw the verb, not the noun. Describes it really well.
So what?
Someone also wanted to know if you always draw with black ink.
No, I don't always anything, but no, sometimes.
Another good quote.
Sorry, that was not meant to be quote, but I do have phases where I'm obsessed with stuff. The black ink though has stayed for a while. The pen has stayed for very long. I love the pen. So right now I'm drawing with black ink. I have drawn with brown. You know, my work is super heavy. Like I will throw things down on the page. So usually I cannot use super subtle things. Like my ink cannot be subtle, brown or black. Something dark needs to be a dark value because otherwise it'll get lost in my work.
That makes sense.
I don't think if your work is heavy, I think of it as intense.
Okay, better word than what I use. Thank you. It's a little bit crazy. It's not quiet, let's say. So quiet media don't work so well for me. And at this point, I think I sort of have the feel of it, but I don't think I'm looking at my scene. I'm gathering enough for this to make sense.
Would you say it's what you know it is?
No, I'm looking at it for a feel. So really, it's the energy of the place and the idea of conveying movement of people and a lot of color for me. But I am not looking to see like what is in this spot. Not. But I do want to like if I say, oh, I want to convey there's people here, and to me it's like all blobbed out. I will just add stuff, do things, but
I'll
I am looking at my scene, but not for what belongs where. I mean, if it were architecture and it needs to hold, I would probably look more carefully, but with a scene like this, I want some quick darks. That's this Taylor chalk-like thingy. Anybody knows what this is called? It's art graph, I think. It's really
from the shape alone, I would guess that the company is Art Graph.
Yeah, it's a really...
If it's like a big bulky thing that you can surprisingly draw with, then it's Art Graph.
Yes.
What is it? I'm sorry, I'm not getting what you're saying this is. I don't know this tool.
Oh, can somebody put it in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can put the company in the chat, but I don't actually know.
If you look up this company, this little
called.
rectangular chalk-like thing, it looks like Taylor's chalk. And again, it works really well. It works on anything, but on damp surfaces, it's super creamy. Messy also, so you have to not mind messy to use a tool like this.
Yeah, it's a Portuguese company that do like super interesting, often graphite-based products that you don't see anywhere else.
Yes.
Like I got like a water-soluble graphite powder from them, and you can like just paint watercolor with it, but you can also just like smudge the powder around. It's always very tactile stuff. Very playful ways to use them.
I guess another thing I always say about drawing a crowd is don't use one color you call skin and put it everywhere. Worst, most unconvincing thing. So if I am trying to indicate people, I will do a range of skin tones.
That's a good tip.
And then I do need a couple of minutes when we're getting close to pull out my white color. So Jenny, you're in charge of telling me when we're down at...
Yes, my watch is telling me that we have 2 minutes till the 25-minute mark, but yeah,
okay,
more
cool.
or less.
Then we're going to be good.
Yes. Great. Making great time in this crazy place.
I usually work to what I have, so it does help to have something. Plus I can overwork if you give me too much time on something like this.
How long do you like to stay in one place when you're working from life?
If I'm working like this, I'm probably standing half an hour, 40 minutes max. But if I'm not talking like I am now, I will draw faster. I don't know if I'll draw faster, but I will problem solve faster. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, I think at this point it's all just fiddling.
You picked a really fun scene. Like this is what it's all about.
It's got all the elements of chaos, right? It's nighttime, it's a crowd, and it's overwhelming color and it's overwhelming detail.
Yes. And there's like cute little shops with lots of bright colored things that are not too hard to draw. You can kind of do whatever for these kites.
Okay, time is up.
I know you said 5 minutes for me for white.
No, I said 2 minutes.
Damn it. All right, give me 1 minute because I cannot resist white gouache.
That's fine.
Even when I
that's fine.
shouldn't use white gouache, I should just stop. I just love it.
You told me earlier that you would like me to tell you when to stop.
Ah, no, but okay.
Do you
okay.
want me to tell you when to stop, or?
Damn it. Yes, this
Not-
white gouache
not
is
before the
probably
white gouache.
totally not necessary, but humor me 1 sec.
I want to say less is more, but the subject of this session is
Oh,
more is
but
more.
yeah,
So
you know, even within this, I should stop earlier, but I just have no capability of stopping earlier. So we'll give it 1 more minute.
It's
It's
too
sharing
much,
one of the things you do.
yeah, it's too much fun watching you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean you didn't sketch? You're supposed, I want to see those
I confess I didn't sketch this one. I was
Oh,
also
damn it.
like just watching.
but you're going to sketch it later, right?
Well, you know, we have a huge list with drawing spots on Google Street
Yes,
View,
that's true.
and it is, well, yeah,
Okay, I'll
it's
stop
on
now.
that list.
I think
so
it's called done at this point.
awesome.
Wow.
That was
awesome
beautiful.
watching this. Applause.
I will probably go mess around a little bit later. Like you know, the trouble with drawing fast is I don't step back. So the glow on this shop different from the glow on this shop, but we'll deal with it later with crayon. So we'll see. I'll stop for now.
Thank
right.
you.
Okay, I will take this camera off now.
Okay. And I will stop recording.
Can